Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Now, my voice has get changed. You can feel that it is like a frog horse sound is coming out. I have not made any video for almost 2 months, and now I feel I have to do, otherwise my channel will stop. And I feel now whatever my sound is like, you can at least understand what I am going to say. So today we'll read about Jane Austen, a remarkable literary figure in English literature. The most perfect artist among women, Virginia Woolf said about Jane Austen. Early life. Jane Austen was born on 16th December 1775 at Steventon in England. Her father, George Austen, was a rural rector. Cassandra Leigh was her mother. She was the seventh of eight children of her parents. Her father, George Austen, was a scholarly man, and this is a good point to remember because her life was molded by this scholarly man. That influenced Jane a lot, and literature was a shared family interest. You can imagine a picture where everyone is gathered, everyone is um, just in a cozy shelter of library reading books and sharing their ideas. And it was the family of Jane Austen. Education. Austen and her sister Cassandra attended school briefly as their father could not afford their higher studies. They studied at home under the guidance of their brothers and father. They owned a huge library as their father was very fond of reading. And in my house, there is also a huge library in the second floor, as my father also is very fond of reading. Education at home. Austen was an enthusiastic reader. He used to read famous authors of her time and others of classical wisdom. He read William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, John Milton, Alexander Pope, Daniel Defoe, and whatnot. Goethe. Actually, she was a voracious reader. She started writing at a very early age, influenced by her brothers. Much of the children's education took place under their father's tutelage. Early writing style. She was influenced by early novelists and their writing styles. And at the very beginning of her writing career, she started writing epistolary novels. Later, she abandoned this style. And you'll find while we talk about her novels that many of her novels she started in epistolary styles, but later she changed them into another format. Love. When she was 21, Jane fell in love with Tom Lefroy, a neighbor's nephew. However, this love story ended when his family sent him away from Austen. They never met again, but for a long time Jane harbored him in her heart. Broken love, you can say. Turn in life. 1800 and 1800 and 1801, Austen's father retired. The family moved to Bath. This upset Austen. She did not like shifting from bucolic country beauty to an urban environment of hustle and bustle. 1805, more tragic. Austen's father died. Her family became financially devastated. They had to depend on others for economic support. They left Bath and moved to a small cottage in Hampshire. So life does not always go smooth, and catastrophic change comes in life. Marriage proposal. Austen got a marriage proposal from an unattainable yet wealthy person. This marriage could save them from the financial crisis they were going through, but Austen hated this concept of marriage of convenience. For her, marriage of love was more acceptable. than a marriage for money. So this theme that she experiences in her own life, that is marriage of love versus marriage of money, also reflects in her novels. They will find in the characters and in the themes they are struggling with the marriage of love and marriage of money. So she never married in her life and lived with her beloved sister Cassandra. Writing career. She dedicated her passion towards writing novels. She began writing at the age of 12. Her early works are termed the juvenilia by scholars. Her first novel, Eleanor and Marine, started in an epistolary manner. I told you that her early writing style was influenced by contemporary writers, and she started writing in epistolary manner, writing in the form of letter. But later she changed that format and also changed the name as Sense and Sensibility. So it is very important to note down that Eleanor and Marine's later name, original title of the novel was Sense and Sensibility, and it was written first in epistolary style, but later she changed the style and took another conventional style. And it was published like all other of her novels anonymously. It was published under the name A Lady. At the time, female authors had to publish their works anonymously, as writing was still looked down of as unladylike. Anyway, Sense and Sensibility attracted good reviews and popularity. 1813, all copies of Sense and Sensibility were sold out, a great success. And after Sense and Sensibility, she started working on her next novel, that is First Impression. Again, she changed the name and she renamed it as Pride and Prejudice. So you have to keep in mind the first name and then the renamed version. First Impression, Pride and Prejudice. Eleanor Marin, Sense and Sensibility. Sorry. It was not. Yes, Eleanor and Marine. Sense and Sensibility. Now it was published in 1813. Then her other novels get published one after another: Mansfield Park, Emma, Persuasion, etc. These are her other novels. She started writing a novel, Susan, that she later named Northanger Abbey. Again, you have an important question, that is Susan. Susan's later name was Northanger Abbey. I feel she is quite puzzled with the naming and that she has to change it. Anyway, it was a satire on Gothic novels. So this is very important point you have to keep in mind. That she wrote a satire on Gothic novels, and that was Northanger Abbey. Persuasion and Northanger Abbey were published after her death. This is also very important to keep in mind. She received widespread recognition, but her health started declining at the same time. 1817. She became ill and confined to her bed. She might have suffered from Addison's disease. It is a condition that affects adrenal glands. And that time she was working on Sanditon, but she could not complete it. Soon she was forced to stop writing. Her sister Cassandra was nursing her. She died. She died on July 18 and was buried in Winchester Cathedral in 1817. Her other unfinished work was the Watson. So two of her unfinished works is Sanditon and the Watson, which started earlier in 1803 and 4 but did not finish. Now we'll look at the characteristics of Jane Austen's novels. Austen gracefully knitted her stories of love, romance, marriage at the backdrop of bucolic countryside charm, as well as the snobbish sophistication of city-bred people. Austen's works stand at a crossway between 18th century melodrama and 19th century realism. Austen's women had no right and importance outside of marriage. She pokes details into their characters. Minute trivial conflicts and confusion were vividly portrayed. And all her novels are, you can say, drawing room romances, deals with the life within four walls. She did not bother much about the political turmoil or social unrest of her time. She had great insight into human behavior. She observed and depicted speech and manners with wit and intellect. Very naturally, she can prove into the center of human nature. Women's condition and role in society was her main concern. Women were dependent on male relatives for financial security that she herself faced in her life. When her father died, she along with her mother and other family members had to depend on male relatives. And marrying a good person and how to become a dutiful wife and mother was their only concern. Actually, Jane Austen's life and Jane Austen's heroines of her novels are quite in the same boat. The contrast was general feature of Austen's work: city versus country, money versus poverty, common sense versus sentimentality, marriage for love versus marriage for money, or social status. From her novels, we can learn much about the manners of the period, but she was more romantic than neoclassical. Elementary emotions are given priority in character sketching. Her heroines are intelligent, with a great sense of wit and morality. Many of her works have been adapted in the films and television. If you read Jane Austen, you'll find such as Sense and Sensibility or any Pride and Prejudice. The heroines are within the four walls of the society, but at the same time they are not dull. They are intelligent with their own thought, own standpoint. So thank you for staying with Jane Austen and thank you for staying with me. Goodbye.